Imagine looking at a photo of a loved one and you can't quite recall their name, or walking into a room and forgetting exactly why you're there. These moments are more than just frustrating, they're frightening. And what if I told you that your grocery list could be quietly making these moments more likely? I'm a doctor specializing in memory, and in my practice, I see a direct link between the foods we eat and the health of our most precious asset, our memories. Today, I'm breaking from tradition. Instead of telling you what to eat, I'm going to reveal the three specific foods I actively avoid to protect my own brain. What you learn in the next few minutes could be the key to safeguarding your clearest thoughts for years to come. Now, this isn't about fear mongering. This is about empowerment. My job is to translate complex brain science into simple, actionable steps you can take today. And the research on these first two foods is so compelling, I consider avoiding them one of the easiest wins for your brain. Let's start with the first one. The first food, sugary sodas and sweetened drinks. Think of your brain as a high performance engine. It needs clean, steady fuel to run. Now imagine pouring sticky, sugary syrup into that engine. What would happen? It would gum up the works, cause corrosion, and eventually the engine would sputter and fail. That's exactly what a can of soda does to your brain. The massive sugar rush causes inflammation, a key enemy of brain cells. Even worse, it floods your system with so much sugar that your brain cells become resistant to the hormone insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks the door for sugar to enter your brain cells and give them energy. When the key stops working, your brain cells are left starving for fuel in a sea of sugar. You're not just drinking empty calories. You're starving your memory with every sip. But let's go deeper. What does this starvation actually look like on a scan? In my clinic, I often review brain imaging studies. In individuals with chronically high sugar intake, we can sometimes see a slight but significant shrinking of the hippocampus. That's the brain's memory center, the very library where your life's stories are stored. This isn't just a theory. Large-scale studies, like the Framingham Heart Study, have confirmed that people who regularly consume sugary drinks have poorer memory, smaller overall brain volumes, and significantly smaller hippocampi. And it's not just about memory in the moment. This insulin resistance in the brain is so closely linked to Alzheimer's disease that some researchers are now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. Every time you choose that sweetened tea, sports drink, or soda, you are essentially challenging your brain's most fundamental energy system, forcing it to operate in a toxic, fuel-deprived environment. It's a silent crisis happening with every can you open. The second food, processed meats. Now for the second food I never touch. And this one is often disguised as a convenient, healthy option. I'm talking about processed meats, your bacon, sausages, hot dogs, and even many of the pre-sliced deli meats at the counter. Why are these so dangerous? They are a double whammy of brain attackers. First, they are preserved with chemicals called nitrates and nitrites. Inside your body, these can turn into compounds called nitrosamines that cause oxidative stress. Think of it as internal rust that damages and ages your brain cells prematurely. It's like leaving a brand new bicycle out in the rain. It might work for a while, but the constant corrosion will eventually seize the gears. Your neurons are exquisitely sensitive to this kind of damage. Secondly, these meats are loaded with salt and unhealthy saturated fats that are terrible for your heart. And an unhealthy heart has a very hard time pumping oxygen-rich blood up to your brain. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it uses 20% of your oxygen. If you clog the pipes, your brain is the first to suffer. That slice of ham might seem harmless, but it could be slowly choking off the vital supply line your memories depend on. I had a patient, let's call him John, a wonderful man in his late 60s who was starting to worry about his brain fog. He was a creature of habit, a bacon and egg breakfast every morning and a ham and cheese sandwich for lunch. When we looked at his diet, the processed meat intake was a glaring red flag. We didn't make 100 changes. We just focused on this one area. We swapped his breakfast bacon for an avocado and spinach omelet, and his lunchtime ham for canned salmon or leftover grilled chicken. Within a few weeks, he came back to me and said, "Doc, it's like someone turned the lights back on." The combination of reducing the inflammatory nitrates and improving his blood flow made a world of difference. His story is a powerful testament to the impact of a single strategic change. The third food, artificial trans fats. Now, we've arrived at the third food on my list. This is the one I consider public enemy number one for your brain because it's not just unhealthy, it's artificial and it's hidden everywhere. I am talking about artificial trans fats, often listed on labels as partially hydrogenated oils. You'll find these in the ingredients of many margarines, packaged cookies, crackers, frostings, and fried foods. To understand why these are so bad, you need to know that your brain is nearly 60% fat. The walls of your billions of brain cells are made of fat. These fat walls, known as the cell membrane, need to be flexible and fluid for brain cells to communicate with each other quickly. This is the physical basis of your thinking and memory. When you eat trans fats, your body actually uses them to build these critical brain cell walls. But these artificial fats are stiff and rigid. It's like trying to build a flexible, sophisticated computer chip out of brittle, cheap plastic. The result? Stiff, dysfunctional brain cells that can't communicate properly. You are literally building a slower, less efficient brain from the inside out. The scary part is how pervasive they were, and in some products, still are. While many countries have banned them, they can still lurk in older products on the shelf or in the fryers of some fast food restaurants. A landmark study published in the journal Neurology found that people with the highest levels of trans fats in their blood had a 50% higher risk of developing any form of dementia and a 39% to 52% higher risk of Alzheimer's disease. This is one of the most direct links we have between a specific dietary ingredient and catastrophic brain failure. When you consume these artificial fats, you are introducing a foreign, disruptive element into the very architecture of your mind. It's a silent sabotage of your cognitive potential. Now, I know that was a lot of heavy information. You might be thinking, goodness, what's left to eat? This is the most hopeful part. Knowing what to remove is powerful, but replacing them with better choices is how you truly win. You don't need a complicated diet, you need smart swaps. Instead of soda, try sparkling water with a splash of 100% pomegranate or tart cherry juice. It gives you the fizz and flavor with protective antioxidants, not brain-damaging sugar. The polyphenol in these juices actually improve blood flow to the brain and have been shown to enhance memory function. It's an upgrade, not a sacrifice. Instead of processed meats, try canned wild salmon or tuna for your sandwiches. It's packed with omega-3 fats, specifically DHA, that your brain craves to build those flexible, healthy cell membranes. Or use leftover roasted chicken or turkey from last night's dinner. You're trading inflammatory chemicals for brain-building blocks. And instead of packaged snacks with trans fats, reach for a handful of almonds or walnuts. They contain healthy fats and vitamin E, which are like armor for your brain cells, shielding them from that internal rust. For a sweet fix, dark chocolate, 70% or higher, is a fantastic option that contains flavonoids to boost cognitive function. This isn't about deprivation. It's about making smarter, more powerful choices. Every time you choose a brain-healthy swap, you are not just eating, you are actively preserving your independence and your precious memories. You are making a deposit into your cognitive bank account. Think of it this way. You are the architect of your brain's health. And with every meal, you choose the building materials. Will they be brittle plastic and corrosive rust? Or will they be flexible, strong, and resilient materials designed to last a lifetime? So, let's do a quick recap to make it stick. The three foods a memory doctor avoids are: number one, sugary sodas and sweetened drinks because they cause inflammation and insulin resistance, starving your brain cells. Number two, processed meats like bacon and deli slices because they deliver a double whammy of oxidative stress and impaired blood flow. And number three, anything with artificial trans fats or partially hydrogenated oils because they literally stiffen and sabotage your brain's cell membranes. Remember the acronym SBT to keep it simple: sugary drinks, processed meats, trans fats. Avoid these three, and you've already made massive strides. Now, I have a question for you. Which of these three foods will be the hardest for you to give up? And what's one brain-healthy swap you're excited to try? Let's chat about it in the comments below. Share your strategies, and let's support each other. Your health is your wealth. Thank you for watching, and take care of that brilliant brain of yours.